how you guys work together so much, and lots of people who do that with producers, they kind of get every record sounds the same. How have you managed to keep it fresh on every record?
Insecurity. We're both insecure. We're afraid of doing it the same way every time. I wonder why I keep writing the same fucking song over and over though. I don't know, man. I think that we just have a desire to keep pushing and challenging ourselves to try something different. So that we don't get bored, maybe would be the easy answer, but the not so easy answer, I guess, would be we evolve as people every 2 to 3 years. All of us do. And I think with that evolution, you know, your ideas and your thoughts and your moral compass even should evolve as well. And I think that should affect the art you make. You know, I look at artists who've been doing this for 15 years and they still sound the same as they did when they first came out. And I think that they're selling out. I think when artists do that, it's because they found an audience that likes what they do, and they're so focused on keeping that audience and spoon-feeding that audience to keep them happy and keep them content that they just keep regurgitating the same thing over and over. And to me, that's kind of the definition of a sellout. I feel like if you don't challenge your audience with the opportunity to not like you anymore, then you're not really doing anybody a favor, you know, especially yourself.
How have you managed to keep it independent for so long? And was there ever a time when you were close to signing with a major label?
We were never close. Back in like 2002, after we released God Loves Ugly, every major label asked us to come and sit down for a meeting. Not to sign us, but just to pick our brains about what we were trying to do, because this was the beginning of the majors trying to buy up the indies and develop indie artists as if they weren't major label artists. Because independent became the new fashion, it became the trend. Independent became the new sellout. And when that happened, you know, I just thought these guys wanted to be nice and buy me lunch and shit. It took me a minute to realize that they were picking our brain because they wanted to take what we had taught ourselves and figure out how to apply it to some of the indie bands that they had accumulated. And to this day, I still see artists come out, like even this month. There's artists that are coming out, I'm not going to say no names, but that have this indie credibility to them. But if you really look behind the scenes, they got puppet masters that are telling them what to do, and, you know, oh, go make a YouTube video of yourself fucking jumping off the roof. That fucking kids love that right now, you know, and just whatever, you know. It's just like, it's kind of a funny thing. The industry is dying, and they'll you know, they started dying about 10 years ago, and they'll try anything they can to try and stay on that. And the indie artists are fucking falling for it because we all want to make a dollar. We all want to be able to quit our day jobs. We all want to be able to you know, make music for a living so that we can buy time to make more music for a living, you know? And so I feel like, you know, we weren't close to signing any deals with anybody. We just went for the free lunches. But I made a couple of decent friends out of it. You know, there were a few A&R people and a few label executives at different labels that they were cool. You know, they just wanted to talk and, you know, figure us out. And now they're friends. You know, nobody really tried to sign me though. There was a couple that tried, and when we made it obvious that we weren't going to sign, you could tell which ones were dicks, because those are the ones that never even stopped to say hi again. Whereas some of them were always like, yeah, I respect the fact that you didn't sign with my label. And it's good that you didn't sign with my label, because 2 years after that meeting, the fucking label fell to pieces. You know what I mean? It's kind of like one of those things where, you know, accidentally fresh. Our trajectory has been accidentally fresh. I think that's probably the first time I've ever said the word trajectory in my life. I don't even know if I pronounced it right, but I'm gonna pretend like I did.
You did. So what, you've accomplished a lot in your career. What future goals do you have for yourself as a person and as the group?
I want to open a boutique hotel in my city that caters to traveling musicians. And I want to fucking charge them money.
Not a hostel?
Yeah, I want to live off of musicians. I spent enough time making my money off of people who enjoy music. Now I want to start making money off of people who make music. But not in a label way. I just want to sell them a room or a meal. Family fun.
It is an all ages show.
Rapping. There's gonna be some rapping there and some DJing. Some curse words. So that's hip hop. Shoes. I don't know how to answer that question.
Was it true DJ abilities got stopped at the border? You're not sure.
I don't know if I'm allowed to answer that question.
Fair enough.
DJ Abilities is not here.
Okay.
He's not in Canada right now.
All right. So how long does the tour go till? The end of summer, or?
Forever, man. This tour never stops. The leg we're on right now, we've got about a week left, and we go home for a couple of weeks, and then we go over to Europe, run around, and eat bad food, and then we go home for a couple of weeks, and then we go back out into the States, run around, and eat bad food. And then we go home for a little while, and then we go out to the States again and run around, maybe a little more Canada, more bad food, and then we go back to Europe and more bad food, and then we go home for Christmas. And then we do it again forever.
So last couple, do you have any plans for, any ideas for future albums, another Felts?
I've started writing the next record. It's about, I read this story, this article, about a Russian bodyguard, a woman that you could hire to be your bodyguard. She was trained in all types of fighting and weapons, and she'd killed a handful of people through the course of her career, and she'd protected successfully everybody that she'd ever been hired to protect. She basically was kind of infamous for being a real badass. And then one night, she was leaving a party, and she caught somebody trying to steal her car. And as she went to approach them to kick their ass or whatever, they took off in the car with her wrapped up in the car, and she died by being dragged by her own vehicle. And I just thought that was so kind of fucked up that I decided to make a record about it. And that's what I'm working on right now. It's a concept album about this woman who was such a badass but died while trying to protect her own car. Bless the dead.
All right, anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you for interviewing me. 411mania.com. Thank you, Canada, for French fries with gravy. It's a nice day.